So, welcome back to another walkthrough. This is our second Excel assignment for the class. We're looking at Excel 15G inventory. Let's go ahead and begin. We'll go ahead and download our files. I'm going to go ahead and click on my Excel 15G inventory. I'm going to download my materials. And once again, don't download all materials. Go ahead and just click on each file individually. And then go ahead and open up your student file. And if need be, go ahead and hit Enable Editing. So one of the really cool things with Excel is that it's very multi-purpose. You can use Excel for a lot of different things. You can use it to chart sales expenses. You can use it as a database to store inventory. You can create tables. Keep how many quantity that you have in stock. You can do complex calculations. A lot of things that Excel can do. You can even create fillable forms in Excel. So lots of things that you can use Excel for. This week we're looking at how to use Excel to keep an inventory of items. So we've opened up our book here. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in just a little bit, maybe to make it a little bit easier for you to see. And for step number 2, it wants us to change our theme to slice. Well, we've changed themes before. That's pretty easy. I'm going to come up here to my tabs. I'm going to click on my page layout tab, and under themes, I'm going to find the one that says slice. And here it is, slice. And then it also wants me to rename sheet 1 as bulbs and sheet 2 as trees. So I'm going to come down here. Notice I got my worksheets down here at the bottom. I'm going to right click on sheet 1, hit rename. I'm going to type in bulbs. And then I'm going to go ahead and right click on sheet 2, hit rename, and I'm going to rename this one trees. And then once I'm done there, I'm going to hit enter, and I want to make bulbs the active sheet. So first thing I want to take a look at here on our Excel sheet is notice here in column B. Column B has item number and category. When you're creating a database or you're creating an Excel worksheet, it is never a good idea to have 2 items or 2 different types of information in one column. It makes it a little bit more difficult to sort, makes it a little bit more difficult to manage your data. So we are going to separate this information here. We're going to separate the item number from the category. So to do that, I want to click on column C up here. Click on the C. I want to right click on column C, and I'm going to hit insert. And what that's going to do is it's going to give me a new blank column C. From here, I'm going to go ahead in column C next to in C14. I'm going to type in category. Once I type in category, I'm going to go ahead and hit enter. And then I'm going to go ahead and cell C15. I'm going to type in daffodils. And make sure I spelled it correctly once I've typed it in there. And hit, nope, daffodils. I missed the S. There we go. Hit enter. All right, so now instead of having to go through and type in all of this information, I can use what's called flash fill, that Excel will notice that I'm trying to separate the categories, and it will do it for me automatically. I'm a little behind. I'm a little ahead of myself. It wanted me to type in item number in column C. So I'm going to go ahead and come back up here to my C again. I'm going to go ahead and right click on C again, and I'm going to hit insert and give me another blank column C. Now I'm going to type in item number. Hit enter, and I'm going to type in 1239. So the way this should be structured now is I've inserted 2 new columns. I have item number in column C. I have category in column D here in D14. Then I've taken the first piece of information for each category. So for item number, I typed in 1239 in cell C15, and I typed in daffodils in cell D15. Now with C15 as my active cell, I'm going to come to my Home tab here, And from my Home tab, I'm going to come to my Editing group. I'm going to click the down arrow where it says Fill. And I'm going to go ahead and click on Flash Fill. And when I click on that, notice how it pulled the information from item number under column B. So right here where it was 1285, it put 1285 here. Daffodils 1296, it put 1296. So it separated the item number out for me. I'm going to go ahead and click on cell D15, do the same thing. I'm going to come up here to my editing group. I'm going to click on that fill and do flash fill. And notice now that it pulls out the category name for me automatically. So Excel's able to notice that I was trying to separate this column and did it for me. So now once that's done, I'm going to go ahead and delete column B. So I'm going to go ahead and come up here to the B. I'm going to click on the B. Notice how it selects the entire column. I'm going to right click on it and hit delete. And it's going to get rid of it for me. And now I've taken both of that one category, that one column, and I've made it into two different columns. It also wants me to use the cut and paste command to cut column C category and paste it in column G. So I'm going to come up here to my C up here. I'm going to click on the C. I'm going to right click on it and hit cut. And then I'm going to come over here to column G. I'm going to right click and hit paste. And notice that it will cut all of the contents out of C and move them over here to G. And now I just need to right click on the C and hit delete. And now I've moved my data around the way I want to. It also wants me to apply auto fit to columns A through F. So I'm going to come up here and hover over A. I'm going to click hold and drag all the way over to F. Once I have A through F highlighted, I'm going to come in between columns B and C. Notice I get the two arrows pointing away from each other when I get on that line. And I'm just going to double click really fast. And what that's going to do is it's going to auto fit all of this information for me, all of these columns for me to fit the information that's in those columns. So for step number 5, now we want to display the trees worksheet and basically do exactly what we just did here. We're just going to get some extra practice on that. So I'm going to click on trees and notice that same thing here. So I'm going to go ahead and right click on the column C. I'm going to hit insert. I'm going to go ahead and right click on column C again and hit insert. I'm just going to go ahead and insert two columns. In column C, I'm going to type in item number. And then in cell C15, I'm going to type in 1783, which is this number right here. And then I'm going to type in category in cell D14. Hit enter. And I'm going to type in nut trees. And hit enter. So there it is. I've pulled out the first piece of information. I'm going to click on cell C15. I'm going to come up to my editing group under the Home tab. I'm going to click on Fill and Flash Fill. And then I'm going to go ahead and click on D15. I'm going to come up here to my editing group, click on Fill, Flash Fill. Notice how it pulled out the information for me. So now I can delete column B by right-clicking on the B and hitting delete. And then it also wants me to cut the information from C, so I'm going to right-click on the C, I'm going to hit cut, and I'm going to right-click on G and hit paste. And now I can go ahead and delete column C because it's empty, so I'm going to right-click on the C and hit delete. And then highlight A all the way over to F, go in between B and C, get the two arrows pointing away from each other, and double-click really fast to auto-fit the contents. So basically, we just redid steps 3 and 4 on the second tree sheet. So now it wants us to make the following calculations in each of the two worksheets without grouping the sheets. So we're not going to group the sheets together. So we're going to go to B4. So I'm going to go ahead and click on in bulbs here. And it wants me to in cell B4. So I'm going to click on B4. Boom. So in B4, I want to add a sum function that's going to add all of the quantity in stock. So I'm going to go ahead and click in cell B4. I'm going to come up here to my FX button. And I want to do sum. So I'm going to type in SUM, hit go. There it is. There's my sum function. I'm going to click on it, hit OK. And now it's asking me for my arguments. I'm going to go ahead and move my box over here out of the way a little bit. And notice there's this button right here. If I click on this little button right here next to number 1, it will minimize my function arguments for me. And now, since I'm trying to sum my quantity in stock, I can come over here to cell A15 and copy all the way down to A41, or I'm sorry, A42, and let go. And then I can come back over here to my box and I can click on that little icon again right here. And now it has my number as A15 colon A42. So those are my function arguments. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And I now have 2,847 items in stock. That is what it added together right here. It wants me to apply the column style with 0 decimal places. So with B4 selected, I'm going to come up here to my number group. I'm going to click on the comma right here, comma style. And notice how it has 2 decimal places. I want 0. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to decrease my decimal. Notice this little icon right here. I'm going to click on it once, click on it twice, and it will get rid of the decimal places for me. So now I'm going to go ahead and click on average price. And I want to put an average function in here, so it's very simple. I'm going to come up here to my FX button. And I'm going to type in average. And hit enter. There it is. My first option is average. I'm going to hit OK. And I want to average the price. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this little button right here again to minimize my function argument box. And it wants me to average the price. So here's my retail price. I'm going to highlight D15 all the way down to D42. Notice that it puts in D15 colon D42. You can type that in. You can type in D15 to D42. D15 colon D42 if you want, but I think it's much easier just to be able to highlight the information. Once it's highlighted, I'm going to click on this little guy right here. Go ahead and expand my functions argument box, and I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And notice that it gives me 8.99. So the average price of everything here is $8.99. So now it wants me to apply the accounting number format. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this, B5. I'm going to come up here to my number grouping and I'm going to click on the $, which is my accounting number format. Alright, so now it wants the median price. So for B6, I'm going to come up here to my FX button and I want to type in median and hit go. And there it is, there's my median. I'm going to hit OK. And same thing, it wants the retail price. Now, technically, I don't even have to hit this button. I could actually just come right over here to my retail price. I can go ahead and click, hold, and drag from D15 all the way down to D42. Notice how it minimized it for me, and then when I let go, it maximizes it for me. So it's one less step that you have to do. Notice that the number says D15 to D42. I'm going to hit OK. So my median price, the exact middle price, is $8.42. I'm going to come up to my number group, click on accounting number format. Now I want to do the lowest price. Now this one's a little bit tricky because it's not a lowest function. This is actually called the minimum function. So I'm going to go ahead and hit on my FX button here. This type I'm going to type in MIN for minimum, MIN, and hit go. And there it is, there's my minimum function, my MIN function. Hit OK. And once again, same range, D15, all the way down to D42. Notice how it put the number in for me. Go ahead and hit OK. And go ahead and apply that accounting number format. And then lastly here, it wants me in cell B5. So click on B5, wants me to do the highest price. That's going to be our max function. So I'm going to hit the FX button here. I'm going to type in max. Hit go. There it is, max. I'm going to hit OK. And same range again. I'm actually going to type it in. D15 colon D45. Was it 45 or 42? My bad, 42. So D42. Once I type in D15 colon D42, hit OK. And notice that it puts my highest price in here. So the highest price item I'm selling here is $16.58. And I'm going to go ahead and apply my accounting number format. And there we have it. All of our formulas are done on this sheet. However, it also wants me to do it on the other sheet as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click on my trees. And I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to do total items in stock. I'm going to click in cell B4. I'm going to hit my FX button. And what's nice is once you've done your formulas, notice how your most recent ones are right here. So instead of coming up here and now typing, I can just go ahead and hit sum, hit OK. And I'm going to go ahead and highlight A15 down to A42 and hit OK. I'm going to apply that comma format. So I'm going to come to my number grouping here. I'm going to click on the comma style, and I'm going to click on the icon right here to decrease the decimal 2 places. I'm also going to come back to my average price here for B5, hit my FX button. Notice average is right here under my recently used functions. Once I've selected average, I'm going to hit OK. And once again, I'm going to highlight D15 all the way down to D42. Hit OK. And instead of changing my accounting number format one at a time, I'm going to do all of them at one time. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue down to my median price. I'm going to click on B6. I'm going to hit my FX button. Here's my median. I'm going to click on median, hit OK. Once again, same thing. Highlight D15 all the way down to D42. Hit OK. There's my lowest price. I'm going to click on lowest price. I'm going to hit FX. There's my minimum function. I'm going to hit OK. Once again, I'm going to highlight D15 to D42. And also what's really cool is notice down here in the bottom corner, it tells you what the result is going to be. It's going to tell me that the result is going to be 8. So it's kind of nice that you can get a quick preview before you actually commit to the formula. I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to do my highest price. I'm going to click on B8. I'm going to hit my FX button. And here's max. OK. And then I'm going to highlight D15 to D42. So with a little bit of practice, and I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. So with a little bit of practice, notice how quickly you can add and do different formulas within Excel. It did want me to apply the accounting format to B5 down to B8. So I'm going to highlight B8, B5 to B8. I'm going to highlight those ranges. I'm going to come up to my number grouping here, and I'm going to click on the accounting number format to get those dollar signs in there. And we just finished up with step number 6. Step number 7, it wants us to in each of the 2 worksheets, make the following calculations without grouping the sheets. It says in cell B10, enter a Countif function to determine how many different types of tulips there are. So that's easy. I'm going to go ahead and click on my bulbs worksheet here. And right here where it says type, tulip types, I'm going to click on B10. And it tells me I want to use a Countif function. So I'm going to come up here to my FX button here. I'm going to click on FX, and I'm going to type in Countif. So what a Countif function does is it's going to count how many things that I have only if it has tulips. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Countif, hit OK. So my range is going to be F15 all the way down to F42 because it wants the category. That's where tulips are located. And under criteria, I want to type in the word tulips. And once I've typed in tulips, notice that it's given me a result of 5. That means there are 5 different categories of tulips. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And there it is. There's 5. And if I was to go through here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there are 5 different tulips. It also wants me to do that for evergreens on the trees worksheet. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the trees worksheet here. I'm going to click where it says evergreen type under B10. I'm going to hit my FX button. Once again, Countif, I just used it, so it should be in my list here. Hit OK. Same range, it's going to be F15 to F42, and I'm going to type in evergreen. Once I type in evergreen, I'm going to go ahead and click off, and notice that, oh, it's not evergreen, it's evergreens. So I need to make sure I change this to make sure in the quotation marks it says evergreens. And notice now it says it gives me a 4 result. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. For step number 8, it says without grouping the sheets, complete the following. We want to do in G14, we want to do our stock level. So I'm going to go ahead and click on cell G14. I want to type in stock level. Once I've typed in stock level, I can go ahead and hit enter. In cell G15, it says construct an if function to determine the items that must be ordered. So if the quantity of stock is less than 75, I need to order. Otherwise, if it's false, I need to hit OK. So this is going to be an if function. So I'm going to click in cell G15. I'm going to click on my FX button here. In my search function, I'm going to type in if for if. Notice that it pops up at the top there. I'm going to hit OK. So it says my logical test is going to be if quantity in stock is less than 75. So my quantity in stock is going to be cell A15, because A15 right here is my quantity in stock. So if A15 is less than, so do the less than sign, alligator mouth opening up to the right. That's how I was told in preschool, is the less than sign. And it wants me to do 75. So if A15 is less than 75, if that is true, I want to put in quotation marks order. Make sure you put those quotation marks, very important. And if the value is false, I'm going to do quotation marks, OK, close quotation marks. So if less than 75, I need to order. If it's more than 75, I'm OK. And I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And notice that it's telling me I need to order. And the reason I need to order is because I have 49 items in stock, which is less than 75. At least I think. I'm going to do my math. So now I want to copy this down. So go ahead and click back on cell G15. Notice that little dot right there in the bottom corner. I'm going to click hold and drag all the way down. Notice that it will copy the formula down. It will tailor it for me. And notice that I have 35 items here. I need to order. Notice I have 126 items here. I'm OK. So it copied the formula down for me, and we are good to go. So now it wants me to put that same formula in my bulbs. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the bulbs list here. And I'm going to go ahead and click on cell G14. I'm going to type in stock level. Hit enter. And here I'm going to do that same if function. I'm going to come up here to the FX. I'm going to click on if, hit OK. My logical test is going to be A15. If it's greater than, or I'm sorry, less than 75. If that's true, I need to order. Make sure you put it in quotation marks, and then in quotation marks, OK if it is false. Go ahead and hit OK. And once again, notice I have 78 items in stock, so I am OK. And I want to copy that down. So I'm going to click on that little dot down in the corner and copy it all the way down to G42. In step number 9, it wants me to apply conditional formatting that will, if the item here says order, I need to do a conditional formatting that says bold italic and set the fill color to none. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure G15 to G42 are highlighted. On my home tab here, notice I have conditional formatting right here. I'm going to click on conditional formatting. And I want to do highlight cell rules. And I want to do text that contains. So if my text contains order, so type in order. Notice as I type in order, notice how it starts changing the formatting for me. But that's not the formatting I want. I want to click the down arrow next to formatting here, and I want to do a custom format. And I want to make sure that I have bold italics. So I'm going to click on bold italics. It wants the color set to automatic. So automatic right there, it's already there. And for color, fill color, I don't see, do I see a fill color? Oh, right here, boom, fill. Fill color, it wants me to do no color right here, boom. So make sure it says no color. And I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. And go ahead and hit OK. And notice that it is, order is bold and italicized. So it wants me to do that to both. So I'm going to go ahead and click on trees. Notice how it's already highlighted. I want to keep it highlighted. I'm going to come back up into my conditional formatting, highlight cell rules. I want to do text that contains. Once again, order. And I want to change my formatting to custom format. And it needs to be bold italics under font. Automatic for the color. And then for fill, I want to do no color and hit OK. And OK. So there it is. It is now bold italics. So now I want to apply a gradient fill blue data bars to my quantity in stock. So I'm going to come over here to my quantity in stock. I'm going to click on A15, highlight all the way down to A42. I'm going to come back up to my conditional formatting. And I want to do data bars. And data bars, it says gradient fill blue. So here's gradient fill, and here is blue data bars right here, the very first one. And what that does, notice how when I have more of an item in stock, so notice how my bar is completely full here with 385 items, but for here where I only have 14 items, it's a very little bar. So this is just a quick way to glance at my inventory levels to know if I need to order something or how much I have in stock. Same thing with my stock level. This gives me a quick glance of what I need to order and how quickly I need to order it. Let's do that to the bulbs worksheet. I'm going to click on bulbs. I'm going to highlight A15 to A42. I'm going to click on my conditional formatting, data bars, and then my blue data bars under gradient. So in the bulbs worksheet, it says format the range A14 to G42. So let's go ahead and highlight A14 to G42. It wants me to apply a table with headers. So I'm going to come to my Insert tab here. From my Insert tab, I'm going to click on Tables. And yes, my table has headers, so keep that checked. Go ahead and hit OK. And now I have a table where my range was. It wants me to change the style to light orange, table style light 20. So I'm going to come up here to my table styles under my table design. I'm going to click the down arrow. Under light, I want to find light 20. And it looks like right here, light orange table style 20. So I'm going to click on that and notice how it gives me a light orange color. I'm going to go ahead and deselect. I'm just going to click somewhere inside the middle of this so it's not all highlighted. It also wants me to insert a total row. So I'm going to go ahead and come up to my table design here. I'm going to put a check mark next to total row. Notice that I will have now a total row down here at the bottom. It wants me to filter the category for tulips. So I'm going to come up here to my category right here. Notice there is a down arrow next to category now because we made it a table. I'm going to click on that and I'm going to uncheck everything except for tulips and hit OK. And notice that when I do that, it's going to give me a total of 5 because there's only 5 tulips here. However, it wants me to sum this. So where it says total here, I'm going to click on total. Notice that when I click on total, I have a down arrow. I'm going to click on that down arrow, and I want to do a sum. And notice when I click on sum, it gives me 433. So I have 433 tulips in stock. So I'm just going to come up here to cell B12 or B11, and I'm going to type in 433. Just going to record that there and hit enter. For step number 11, it wants me to clear the filter. So I'm going to go ahead and come back to my category, F14. I'm going to hit that icon right next to category. And I'm going to go ahead and hit clear filter from category. And notice how it brings everything back. It now wants me to sort the table by item number. So I'm going to come over here where the down arrow next to item number. And I'm going to sort from smallest to largest. So I'm going to click sort smallest to largest. It wants me to remove this total row. So I'm going to go ahead and click back onto my table here. I'm going to click back onto my table design and I'm going to uncheck total row. And it says on the print layouts tab, set print titles so that they repeat row 14 at the top of each page. So when you go to print something like this, if you don't make your rows to always print at the top of your page, then you can get into the page 4 or 5 and not remember what category each column was. So if I come up here to my page layout tab, and I click on my page setup box here, and I come here to where it says sheet under page setup. Notice right here it says rows to repeat at top. I can go ahead and click on this, come over here to row 14, click on row 14. Notice how it puts row 14 in here for me, and I can go ahead and hit OK. So now when I print this sheet up, if it goes on to more than one page, this row right here will always print at the top of the page. And it looks like we're going to do most of those steps to our trees worksheet. So I'm going to go ahead and click on trees. I'm going to highlight A14 all the way down to G42. I'm going to go to my insert tab here. I'm going to table. Yes, my table has headers. Hit OK. For this one, it wants me to change it to a light green 19. So I'm going to come up here to my table styles, down arrow, and right here, this light green style number 19 right here. Same thing, it wants me to put in my total row. So I'm just going to go ahead and deselect somewhere here. I'm going to click on total row. Notice how it brings my total row back. It wants me to filter category by evergreen. So I'm going to click where it says category here. Uncheck everything except for evergreens. Hit OK. I have 4 evergreens. Wants me to change my total here in A43 to sum. So hit that down arrow, hit sum. I have 583, so I'm going to type in 583 in cell B11, hit enter. Now I need to clear my categories. I want to go ahead and click on that little icon next to category. I'm going to hit clear filter. Same thing with the item number. I want to click the down arrow next to item number, and I want to do smallest to largest. I want to click on my table again, come back up to my table design. I want to get rid of that total row, so uncheck that. And same thing, I want to go to my page layout tab here. I want to click on the little icon right here that says page setup. Under sheet, rows to repeat at top. I'm going to click on that again, and I'm going to click on the row 14. And notice that it puts row 14 in here for me, and hit OK. So yes, I know a lot of these steps are redundant, but practice makes perfect, so that's why we're doing it to both at the same time, or we're doing two different tables. It wants us to save our worksheet. Let's go ahead and save our worksheet. And now, so we've done everything to each table separately. So one of the other cool things about Excel is that you can do all of these things at the exact same time to both worksheets, as long as they have the exact same formatting style. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to group both of my sheets. So I'm going to come down here to my trees worksheet. I'm going to right click on trees, and I'm going to hit select all sheets, so that both of these sheets are now selected. So now what I do to one sheet will do it to both sheets at the same time. So first thing I want to do is merge and center the title from A1 to A1 to G1. So I'm going to come up here to A1. I'm going to click on A1. I'm going to click, hold, and drag over to G1. I'm going to go to my Home tab. Under my alignment grouping, I want to click on Merge and Center. Notice that it will merge and center my title all the way across. It wants me to apply the title cell style, so I'm going to come up here to my Styles grouping under my Home tab. I'm going to click the down arrow with the line above it, and I'm going to do Title. It also wants me to highlight A2 over to G2. So as of December 31st, it wants me to do the same thing. It wants me to merge and center. But this time I would need to do the heading 1 cell style. So I'm going to click the down arrow with the line above it, and I'm going to do the heading 1 cell style right here. Heading 1. It wants me to auto fit column A. So I'm going to come over here to column A. I'm going to hover in between column A and B. Get those two arrows pointing away from each other, click really fast, and notice that it will now auto fit it a little bit smaller. It also wants me to change the worksheets horizontally. So I'm going to go to my page layout tab up here, and I'm going to click on this little guy for my page setup dialog box. And it wants me to go to margins and center on page horizontally. It wants me to change the orientation, so I'm going to click on page, and I'm going to change the orientation to landscape. It wants me to put in a footer, so I'm going to click on header footer, custom footer. And it wants me to put in the left section file name, so I'm going to click on the left section, and I'm going to click on this little icon that says insert file name. I'm going to go ahead and hit OK, hit OK. I'm going to go ahead and click on bulbs just so you can see that everything that I did to this worksheet as well. So it did it to both at the exact same time. I accidentally deselected both of them, so I'm going to right click on trees again, hit select all sheets. It wants me to print preview, so I'm going to go to file and print. And here's my print preview. Notice that it's centered on the page horizontally. I have my footer down here. It wants me to set this so it fits all columns to one page. So right here where it says no scaling, I'm going to click the down arrow, and I want to fit all columns on one page. I'm going to go ahead and save it, so I'm going to hit the save button here. It wants me to ungroup the worksheet, so I'm going to go ahead and right click on trees and hit ungroup sheets. With trees as the active cell, I want to insert a new worksheet. So I'm going to go ahead and right here, notice that there's a little plus button right here. I'm going to hit plus, and it's going to add a new sheet that says Sheet 1. I'm going to right click on it, hit rename, and I'm going to type in summary. And hit enter. After I've renamed it, it wants me to widen columns A through D. So I'm going to come up here and want to hover over the A, get that arrow pointing down, click hold, and highlight all the way over to D. And it wants me to change it to it so it's 170 pixels. So I'm going to hover in between A and B. Notice that I get the two arrows pointing away from each other. I'm going to click, hold, and drag. And notice that that little box pops up. It wants me to change it to 170 pixels. Notice that I'm at 89. So I'm going to go all the way over to where it says 170 pixels. So 170 pixels, it takes a little bit of fine motor skills, about a width of 20.63. I'm going to let go. And notice how it did it to all of them at the same time because I had them all highlighted. So I've just changed the width to 170 pixels. It wants me to move the summary worksheet so that it is the first sheet in the workbook. So I'm going to come down here. I'm going to hover over my summary worksheet. I'm going to click, hold, and drag it all the way over so it is now in front of bulbs. In cell A1, it wants me to type in Pasadena inventory summary. I'm going to hit enter. It wants me to merge and center that. So I'm going to go ahead and highlight A1 over to D1. I'm going to go to the Home tab, under Alignment, hit Merge Center, and under Styles, it wants me to change it to the title style. In cell A2, it wants me to type in as of December 31st. Hit Enter. Same thing, I'm going to highlight A2 to D2. I'm going to Merge and Center. And I'm going to change it to heading 1. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the bulbs sheet. It wants me to highlight and copy A4 to A8. So I'm going to highlight A4 to A8. I'm going to highlight these. I want to right click and hit copy. I'm going to click on my summary worksheet here. And it wants me to paste it in cell A5. So I'm going to go ahead and right click in cell A5 and hit paste. And notice that it will paste those items there for me. It wants me to apply the heading 4 style to the selection, so make sure these are still selected. I'm going to come up to my styles grouping, hit the down arrow with the line above it. I'm going to do heading 4. In cell B4, it wants me to type in bulbs. And in cell C4, it wants me to type in trees. And hit enter. So now what I want to do is I want to make a summary sheet that links those formulas to the summary sheet. So right here for total items in stock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit the equal sign. So the equal sign tells Excel to expect a formula. After I hit equal, I'm going to come down here, and you have to be very careful. You have to be very deliberate with your clicks because it will start recording your clicks. I need to click on the bulbs worksheet, and I want to click on cell B4 for items in stock, and I want to hit enter. And notice that it will bring that formula over here. I'm going to do that for all of our formulas. So where it says average price here, in cell B6, I'm going to hit equal, click on the bulbs worksheet. I'm going to click on B5 for average price and hit enter. I'm going to do the same thing for median price. I'm going to hit equals. I'm going to click on my bulbs worksheet. I'm going to click where it says median price and hit enter. And for lowest price, same thing. I'm going to hit equal sign. I'm going to click on the bulbs worksheet. And I'm going to select B7 for lowest price, hit enter. And then same thing for highest price. I'm going to hit the equal sign, click on the bulbs worksheet, and click on where it says highest price and hit enter. And I need to do that for the trees worksheet as well. So I'm going to go ahead and click on C5, hit equals. This time I want to go to the trees worksheet and do the same thing. I'm going to click on total items in stock here, hit enter, hit the equal sign, click on trees. I'm going to do average price and hit enter. Median, I'm going to hit equals. Click on the trees worksheet and click on the median price and hit enter. And the same thing here. I'm going to hit the equal sign again. I'm going to go to my trees, click on lowest price and hit enter. And lastly, highest price, hit equals, click on trees and click on the highest price and hit enter. And the reason why we do it this way is because now each one of these are linked. So if this number here changes on the trees worksheet, it will now change it on this worksheet as well because they are linked together. Up here in cell D4, I need to type in bulbs/trees. It also wanted me to highlight bulbs, trees, and bulbs, trees. And it wanted me to put the center. So I'm going to go ahead and under alignment, hit center. And it also wanted me to apply the heading 3 style. So I'm going to go to my styles here, click the down arrow, and do heading 3. So it did want me to do that as well. So for step number 22, in cell D5, D6, D7, D8, it wants me to insert column Sparklines. So I'm going to go ahead and click on cell D5. So now let's see, in cell D5, I'm going to go ahead and go to my insert tab. I'm going to do my column Sparklines. And I'm going to do cell B5 to C5, so B5 colon C5. I'm going to hit enter. And instead of copying this down, I'm going to go ahead and first I'm going to change my style to the first style right here. Now I'm going to click in cell D6. I'm going to do my insert tab. I'm going to click on column Sparklines. This time I'm going to do B6 to C6. Hit enter. And I'm going to do the second style now. So I'm going to come up to my styles here. I'm going to click the down arrow. I'm going to do the second style. So now I'm going to go ahead and click in cell D7, insert tab. I'm going to do my column Sparkline. This time I'm going to highlight B7 to C7, hit enter. And I'm going to click the styles group here. I'm going to click the down arrow. I'm going to do the third style this time. Now I'm going to click on D8, my insert tab, my column. I'm going to highlight for my range is going to be B8 to C8 and hit OK. And I'm going to change this style to the fourth style there. And then lastly, for my highest price, I'm going to click on the insert tab, column Sparkline. I'm going to highlight B9 to C9, hit OK, and then I'm going to select that 1, 2, 3, 4, the fifth style over. And now I've got the colors the way that I need them. So now it says to the ranges B5 to C5. So B5 to C5, I'm going to highlight B5 and C5. It wants me to do the comma style with 0 decimal places. So I'm going to hit this decrease decimal 2 places. And it wants me to do the highlight B6 to C6. It already looks like it's the accounting number format, but I'm going to go ahead and click on it again. That way we have the accounting number format there. I'm going to go ahead and unselect my range. It wants me to center the worksheet horizontally, so I'm going to go to my page layout tab here. I'm going to click on this little guy right here, this page setup. Under margins, I'm going to center on page horizontally. I want to go to my page group and change the landscape. And I'm going to do my footer. I'm going to do a custom footer, and in the left section, I'm going to do the file name. And go ahead and hit OK. and hit OK. Now I know that was one long assignment, but we are done. I'm going to go ahead and just look at my sheets. Everything looks good. I'm going to make sure I hit the Save button up here. I'm going to minimize this. I'm going to come back to my downloading starting materials. I'm going to exit out of this. I'm going to choose my file. I'm going to click on my downloads, and there it is. There's my download. I'm going to hit Open, Upload, and Submit for grading. And let's go ahead and see how I did. I'm going to click on the 3 dots here next to the assignment, hit View Submission. And it looks like I got 100%. Go ahead and click on it. You can take a look and see what you did right or wrong, and you can resubmit this for a better grade if need be. Well, that concludes our walkthrough. I'll work on next week's. And like always, have a wonderful day.